What happens when two beloved TV personalities collide in a way no one expected? What began as a normal chat on the Kelly Clarkson Show quickly turned into one of the most awkward moments ever seen on daytime TV, ending with Trevor Noah walking off set. But the real story lies in what led to that moment, a conversation that started with laughter and ended in silence. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe and tell me in the comments what you think about celebrity interviews that spiral out of control, because this one might just shock you. The tension was noticeable from the moment Trevor Noah stepped onto Kelly Clarkson's bright, cheerful set. Something felt different. Maybe it was the lighting, maybe the energy from the audience. It was hard to say. Kelly, wearing one of her trademark colorful blazers, greeted him warmly. "Welcome back to the show, Trevor. So good to have you here again." Trevor smiled easily. "Thanks, Kelly. Always a pleasure." Things began smoothly enough. Kelly asked about Trevor's new projects and his transition from The Daily Show. But then she changed direction with a question that completely shifted the tone. "So, Trevor," she said, leaning forward, "do you ever feel like comedy's gotten too political? I mean, aren't we losing the simple joy of just making people laugh?" Trevor paused, his smile fading slightly. "That's an interesting question, Kelly. What do you mean by too political?" "Well," Kelly replied, gesturing with her hands, "it just feels like every comedian has to make a statement now. Whatever happened to just having fun, you know?" Trevor shifted in his seat. "I think that's a misunderstanding, Kelly. Comedy's always had a political side. Even centuries ago, jesters used humor to speak truth to power. Comedians like Chaplin, Pryor, and Carlin all did it too." Kelly nodded but pressed on. "Sure, but don't you think some comics today are more focused on preaching than entertaining?" "Who exactly are you talking about?" Trevor asked, his tone sharpening slightly. Kelly gave a light laugh. "Oh, I'm not naming names. I just think people want to escape reality for a while when they watch comedy." Trevor leaned in, calm but firm. "With respect, Kelly, I think that's oversimplifying. Comedy isn't just about escaping reality. It helps us face it. Growing up in South Africa during apartheid, comedy was how people survived." Kelly interrupted quickly. "That's totally different. Here, people just want to relax and have fun." The audience shifted uneasily, divided between the two. Trevor's expression hardened. "Are you saying America doesn't have issues worth discussing through comedy? Racism, inequality, corruption, those aren't important enough?" "I'm not saying that," Kelly replied, her voice tense. "I just think not every joke needs to be about politics. What happened to just being funny? It still exists," Trevor said, his patience wearing thin. "But saying political comedy isn't valid is dangerous?" Kelly frowned. "Dangerous? Isn't that a bit dramatic?" "Not at all," Trevor replied. "If you say comedians shouldn't use humor to challenge injustice, you're saying entertainment should ignore real life." By now, the room was silent. Kelly leaned back. "I'm not attacking anyone, Trevor. I just think audiences sometimes want a break. And I think assuming audiences can't handle truth with humor is insulting," Trevor said. "It's also a privilege not everyone has." "Privilege?" Kelly shot back. "What's that supposed to mean?" Trevor sighed. "Kelly, you've had great success in music and TV. You can afford to say entertainment should be carefree because your life's been positive. Not everyone has that luxury." Kelly's smile faded. "So now you're saying I don't know struggle?" "I'm not dismissing your hardships," Trevor replied. "I'm saying your view might come from privilege." The word seemed to sting. Kelly's tone turned cold. "You want to talk about privilege? You've made millions joking about America while not even being from here." "Don't lecture me." Gasps rippled through the audience. Trevor froze, his warmth gone. "Excuse me?" he asked quietly. Kelly stammered. "I didn't mean it like that. I just meant we have different perspectives." "No," Trevor said flatly. "You said I make jokes about America while being from another country, as if that disqualifies my opinion, as if immigrants shouldn't have a say." The silence was heavy. Kelly tried to recover. "You're taking it the wrong way." "Am I?" Trevor asked. "Because it sounds like you just questioned my legitimacy based on where I was born." "That's not what I meant," Kelly said, her voice shaking. "Then tell me what you did mean," Trevor pressed. "Because I've heard that before from people who think only Americans can critique America." Kelly finally said, Sometimes outsiders don't fully understand the American experience. Trevor gave a dry laugh. Kelly, I became a U.S. citizen. I live here, pay taxes here, work here. But to you, I'm still an outsider. I didn't say that, Kelly protested weakly. You didn't have to, Trevor replied. It was in your tone. You said I made millions making jokes about America like it's wrong. Kelly tried to smile. Let's just agree to disagree. Trevor shook his head. No, because that's how these things get brushed aside. You question my right to speak, Kelly bristled. I'm trying to have a civilized conversation. Civilized? Trevor's tone was sharp. You call it civilized to dismiss someone based on where they're from? Kelly's control began to crack. You're twisting my words. No, Trevor said. Words matter. You implied my views don't count because I wasn't born here. The audience was visibly uneasy. Kelly sighed. Maybe the real issue is that you're too defensive and play the victim whenever someone disagrees. Trevor blinked in disbelief. The victim card? Kelly, I grew up mixed race under apartheid. I know what real struggle is. Coming here and earning everything from scratch only to be told I don't belong. That's not being sensitive. That's real, Kelly's voice rose. I never said you don't belong. You question my legitimacy as a commentator, Trevor shot back. That's the same thing, Kelly tried to recover. You're being unfair. Commentary comes from who we are, Trevor said. You can't separate the person from their perspective. Kelly looked trapped. Maybe we're getting too personal. We're on TV, Trevor glared. Now you care about that? You didn't when you implied I shouldn't talk about your country. The silence stretched painfully. Kelly tried again. I respect you, Trevor. We just see comedy differently. Can we move on? Trevor looked at her for a long moment. This isn't about comedy anymore. It's about what you said when you brought up where I was born. Kelly frowned. I think you're overreacting. No, Trevor said. You're not listening. Questioning someone's right to speak because of their birthplace isn't an opinion, it's prejudice. Kelly looked stunned. How dare you call me prejudiced? I've always been inclusive. Having diverse friends doesn't erase bias, Trevor said quietly. You dismissed my view because it was uncomfortable. Kelly stood up, matching his posture. I am not prejudiced. Then explain why my birthplace was relevant, Trevor challenged. Why mention it at all? Kelly hesitated. I was just saying we have different perspectives. Based on what? Trevor asked. Because I wasn't born here? Kelly's shoulders dropped. I didn't mean it that way. It's not about meaning, Trevor replied softly. It's about what was said. The silence was suffocating. Kelly finally murmured, Maybe we should end this. Trevor nodded. I think so. He took off his mic. Wait, Kelly said quietly. Maybe we can fix this. Trevor paused. The time to fix it was when I tried to explain. But you chose to double down. I'm sorry if I offended you, she said. You're sorry about the fallout. Not what you said, Trevor replied, setting down his mic. Kelly stood frozen as Trevor walked off the set, leaving a shocked audience and an uneasy silence. The cameras kept rolling as she sat there, visibly shaken. What began as a light talk about comedy had exposed something deeper, how easily bias hides behind polite words, and how quickly respect can crumble when values collide. So, what do you think? Was Trevor right to walk away, or should he have stayed and tried to resolve it? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this one. Sometimes the truth comes out when no one's prepared to hear it.